Space Pride, everyone. I was halfway through that sentence and I realized this episode doesn't come out for 2 weeks. So
it'll
been
still be
Pride.
June.
Yeah, it's still Space Pride here.
Happy Space Fidelity Month to all the straights out there.
Name one person in Star Trek, anywhere in Star Trek, who subscribes to fidelity.
O'Brien.
O'Brien, yeah.
O'Brien, fair.
O'Brien,
my
man.
Anyway,
except for his not at all queer relationship with Bashir. Come on now.
That's just platonic boyfriends.
Just best buds.
Boys are allowed.
Did you say bed buds?
Just bed buds.
Oh, okay.
Just a couple of bed buds. Hey, it's another episode of TV Show in Space. I'm your host, Rebecca, joined by Carrie, Jake, and Tony. Rob is doing engineering stuff, and so he might be here, he might not.
He might pop in.
That's how engineering works.
Yeah, true that.
How are we doing? How is everybody?
Trying to hang on.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah. I just did a full week in Florida, so my brain is fried, and I'm hoping I remember the episodes that I watched.
Okay.
I can smell the GOP on you.
Yeah. I mean, you know what's crazy? I didn't encounter anything political.
Really?
Nothing political.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice.
Yeah, but I think because Orlando seems to be such a tourist-focused town that it's like, leave your worries at the door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's only heat and humidity and Mickey Mouse here.
We don't care about your politics. We just want your money.
We just want your money. But there's a universe in which money is not really an issue, and that's the Star Trek universe. And we're here to talk about Star Trek. Tony, have you watched any original series episodes?
What day is it?
It's been like 3 weeks since we've recorded. So
I thought I was supposed to not watch any for this one. That's what I remember.
Says who?
He's such a terrible liar.
What is time? It's a construct.
Have you watched the 2 new Rick and Mortys though?
Yeah, of course I have.
You did. Of course he did.
Yeah, well, those are only 20 minutes.
It's true.
Plenty of time for those.
That's less than one episode of TOS to watch both of those.
I
will watch
a Q joke.
2 episodes by next time.
Oh, hey, man.
Mark my words.
At this point, I'm just happy you're here.
I don't know how to feel about that, but okay.
Yeah. You brought it up though, Rebecca.
The Q joke in the first 3 minutes of the season premiere of Rick and Morty.
Yep.
Can't believe the show winning me over. Well, shall we just talk about some Deep Space Nine? I know you guys
sure.
You guys.
Speaking of shows winning you over.
Speaking of shows winning me over, I mean,
Slowly,
I guess. Yeah.
Slowly.
There's one episode in this batch that we're going to talk about that I surprisingly emotional over, and I cannot believe it. But we're going to talk about Life Support, Heart of Stone, and Destiny.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say it's not Burrell that got you emotional.
I'm devastated about Burrell. Dr. Bashir, I was copying you, so
I know.
Name.
That's why I corrected it myself.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Dr. Bashir must use extraordinary measures to prolong Vedek Barayal's life long enough to allow Baral to complete sensitive peace negotiations between Bajorans and the Cardassians. This is like the opposite of what's happening in the White House right now.
Indeed.
When I was I'm going to be talking about my time in Orlando a lot. When I was in Orlando, I was trying to keep up with like news, right? While waiting in line for hours and hours. And, we hadn't seen that guy for like a week. Well, every time, it's always the first of the month we don't see him for a week. And every time I got my fingers crossed
that he magically appears with a patch on his, on his hand.
Yeah.
I've had to stop doom scrolling after
Yeah.
noon. I've given myself a noon cutoff time for doom
Probably
scrolling.
good.
That's good.
And I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Instead
Oh.
of doom scrolling, I reach for my Marvel Comics app. I read a little Ultimates, and I'm good. You know.
Yeah.
About a PlayStation 5, you could play Spider-Man 1, 2,
Indiana
of the
Jones.
Galaxy, Indiana Jones. With all that free time you have
Galaxy,
now.
Yeah. Just stuff to think about, Carrie. So, a ship carrying Vedek Bareil and the Bajoran spiritual leader Kai Wynn, remember this bitch, to Deep Space Nine for peace negotiations with the Cardassians suffers a mishap. Shocker. And Bareil is gravely injured. Dr. Bashir finds that Bareil is brain dead and tries to console Kira. So, right out the gate with this episode, we're getting hit with some pretty hard news considering people we actually care about. During the autopsy,
Like
go
I
on.
just got to interject here too. Like we joke about O'Brien must suffer, but really it's Kira. Like Kira
Kira's
gets it
gotta suffer.
all the fucking time.
All the
Like,
time. Yep.
and not just Kira, but Nana Visitor. She has to suffer a lot because in the next episode we'll talk about it. But she's just like forced to do so much stuff for the show that I'm like, do you guys hate her? What is happening? So during the autopsy, Bashir discovers that Bareil's nervous system still shows sign of activity. He manages to revive Bareil by regenerating his brain. Kai Wynn is pleased and wants Bareil to continue managing the negotiations given his greater experience and diplomatic skill. Kai Wynn in this episode, can we talk about Kai Wynn? Because she's an entirely different person. I didn't hate her. She's actually... and even Cisco too is like, I did not realize you were suddenly so progressive. What is happening?
Well, she's progressive when it suits her agenda.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like Justin Trudeau.
She's laying down her legacy with this peace talks. Is what she's
and Bashir nails her to the wall at the end.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Bashir soon discovers that the revival is damaging Bareil's internal organs. He advises Bareil to go into stasis so that Bashir can find a solution, but he refuses. He insists that he must finish the negotiations and create peace for his people. Bashir considers giving Bareil an experimental drug, Vasokin, which would increase the blood flow to his organs and allow him to resume negotiations, but would ultimately damage his internal organs further. The talks resume, but Bareil's condition continues to deteriorate, especially with Kai Wynn continuing to probe him for advice when he should be recovering. Eventually, the Vasokin treatments begin to inflict brain damage, and Bareil falls unconscious again. Wynn insists on keeping him alive at all costs. Bashir accuses her of only wanting him alive so he can be a scapegoat in case the negotiations fail. And then there is a whole conversation about what do we do with Bareil's brain, and it is so fascinating. So Bashir replaces part of his brain with a positronic matrix. You know, the
Data.
thing that Data's made of. And the surgery is a success, but Bareil is still severely brain damaged with a life expectancy of only a few months and just enough time to possibly conclude the negotiations with the Cardassians. Kira speaks with him, but he barely recognizes her and is no longer the man that she fell in love with. Ultimately, he's alive long enough to aid in completing the negotiations, and the treaty is signed, and his condition worsens. Kira asks Bashir to replace the remainder of his brain with positronic matrices, but Bashir refuses on the grounds that it will remove any spark of life that Bareil has left. Wynn agrees that it is time to allow him to die. The episode closes with him at his bedside recounting for a slowly dying Bareil how she first fell in love with him. And I'll get to the B plot in just a second, but this episode is such a good ethical quandary.
Yeah.
And Bashir was pissing me off at first because was what he was doing ethical? Was what he was doing morally right? Because he was pushing for like a certain agenda, right?
Well, this is one of those needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few kind of.
Yeah, but he was anti that. He was saying, let the guy die, right?
Oh, I thought you were talking about midway
through.
through.
But he was trying to make a decision for Bareil, is what I didn't like. He was pushing for like a certain decision.
You could say that the other way about Kira and
yeah.
And
I was going to say everyone
But
had
they're
an
not-
agenda in this thing.
everyone had an
But
agenda.
they're not doctors. They're not doctors. Their emotions are allowed to be in the way. Bashir's emotions are not allowed to be in the way.
Well, I mean, you could say that, but every doctor's emotions, I'm sure, cloud their reasoning, in any given thing that they might be invested in.
Except for my doctor when I was a kid, Dr. Oldroyd. He was mean.
He
Oldroyd.
was just a meanie. Well, and it's interesting, this moral quandary that you run into with, in this case in particular, by the end, Vedic was basically a couple nanobots away from being a Borg, right? They'd replaced a lot of his internal organs with artificial organs. Half of his brain was artificial brain. And Bashir's argument is that you replace anything else and he's not a human anymore.
Yeah, there's
But that also goes against what we learned in Next Gen, where you can come back from being a part of the Borg and still be
re-access that humanity.
Yeah. So I maybe he's not as familiar with Hugh and that situation or what, but I was kind of like, I get what he's arguing for, but on the same note, they've already kind of set a precedent that you can be mostly machine and still have that spark of life. He's denying Data's spark of life at that point as well, if he's saying it's because of his positronic brain.
But Data was never ever human, right? And so
That's true.
Bashir has this whole conversation that I really loved. I went and I found like the transcript. There's still a great deal about the way the brain operates we don't understand. One of my professors at medical school used to say that the brain had a spark of life that can't be replicated. If we begin to replace parts of Burrell's brain with artificial implants, that spark may be lost. And I think there's also kind of an allegory to be found if you look hard enough about like artificial intelligence, right? Of like, artificial intelligence is useful. It can keep a brain, we can keep a person functioning, and it can produce thoughts. It can produce ideas. It's not a human spark. And, we can do all these things to help Bareil, but if we completely replace his brain, that man is not going to be the same
It's a ship
person.
of Theseus. It's a ship
Yeah.
of Theseus argument, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I really liked the moral quandaries of this particular plot line, and especially too because, like, if anybody's lost anybody to an accident and has had to make or even like critical illnesses, right?
Yeah.
Terminal illnesses,
Yeah.
there are really hard decisions to be made, and there's no memento mori. Everyone remember, you got to die.
And let's be honest, Bashir let him die because he wants a shot at Kira. Let's be honest.
Well,
Kira, you think? I still think
I
he's
don't
gunning
know.
for Dax.
yeah. I think he's capable of. I think Bashir
Why not
is
both?
capable.
As we saw in a past episode, though, when it came down to it, those two are physically attracted to each other.
Married.
Yeah,
These guys.
Yeah, sorry.
How?
Fair enough.
What
Do
I
not
thought
believe.
what I thought was really interesting about this too, speaking of the moral quandaries, is it was very much a religion versus science argument as
Sure.
well. With the scientist, technician Bashir, and Kira and Wynn looking at the spiritual side of it. And it reminds me of a quote from The Simpsons where the judge says that science must remain 50 feet away from religion at all times.
Also, what's that saying? I used it when I was doing jury duty. One of the other jurors was like, we should just use AI to make the decision. And I was like, a machine cannot be held accountable for its choices. Therefore, a machine must not make management decisions.
Yeah.
And so kind of the same thing here. If Bareil's brain is replaced with a positronic brain, how do we hold him accountable for any decisions and choices that he makes?
But that was Wynn's thing, right? Like if it all falls apart,
We just blame the
he's my
robot.
out. Yep.
Yep, just blame the robot guy. Honestly, I hate. Oh, I cannot believe I'm about to say this. Agree with Vedek Wynn here, with Kai Wynn here. It's a good strategic move.
Yeah.
And I don't like saying that, but
I didn't really get the vibe. That's why I got the vibe she wanted him alive because she just knew she couldn't do it without him.
and I kind of
That's
got the
more
vibe
the
too
vibe.
that
That's
like
more the vibe I got. She
I,
knew she was incapable.
I also got the vibe that she had grown to like him.
And well, at least a mutual respect, right?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I was
sorry.
going to say, I think it's 50-50, Tony. I think it's
Could
she knows she's not capable, but at the same time, she needs someone to throw under the bus.
But also, many things can be true at once.
Yes.
Right, and I think that's the case here for sure. I think her political ambition, she viewed him as a tool. Once the tool was used for its purpose, all right, let him go.
Okay, now let him go to the prophets. He's fine now.
Yeah,
We must let him go, my child. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was
that turn too for me. I was just like, oh yeah, of course,
There
of
she
course.
is.
yeah,
I'm done
Yeah.
with the screwdriver. Put it back in the drawer.
yeah. It just, and that's what Bashir nails her about at the end, right? Like he just gets in her face and is like, he wins this for you. Your legacy secured. He screws it up. You get to blame him. It's win-win for you. No pun intended.
I get it.
And, I just viewing her in the context of everything that we know about her, that's the interpretation that I lean more towards. Because when has she ever not been that?
Yeah, that's valid points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
That actress, I don't remember her name. She was sick with the flu while they filmed this episode.
Yeah, Louise Fletcher is her name, yeah.
Louise Fletcher, thank you. And
Yeah.
you can tell, like, that's why she seemed less cunty this episode. And I think it is because
Sorry,
she was
Tony.
sick with the flu.
My virgin ears.
That one really slapped him.
That felt just so out of left field. Like, bam, C word. What?
Yeah, sorry. The side plot. Let's talk about the B plot. Jake and Nog.
And this barely registers. If you go to if you go to the Wikipedia page, it's
just
one
a sentence
line.
at the
Right.
end.
But this is the part that made you more emotional, though, right?
Yeah, this is the part that made me super duper emotional.
I don't think this is the one.
Oh, no,
I
it's
don't
the
think
next
it
one.
is,
No,
Carrie.
it's the
I think
next
it's the
one.
next one.
It's the next one. I
But
got them confused.
what-
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
this does do, though, is even though it only has a little footnote, is it shows the strength of their friendship.
But also real deep glimpse into Ferengi culture.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How different it is from human
Jake
culture.
Jake is picking hoes before bros. Jake gets a date with a girl on Deep Space Nine and
With Lisa from Saved by the Bell.
with Lisa from Saved by the Bell.
That's why she looked familiar. I was like, why do I know her? Yep.
and
By the bell.
and Nog is like, hey, so we're hanging out tonight, right? And Jake's like, ooh, got a hot date. And Nog's like, okay, and so you have lined up her friend for me too, right? And Jake's like, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
It is there's an episode of American Dad where I can relate to everything to American Dad.
course
There's an
you
episode of American Dad where Steve gets a date or he gets to hook up with this one girl and hi Rob, how are you?
Glad to be done.
Yeah. And
Starbase 80 is hell.
and so in order to hook up with this girl, he has to find a date for her friend and so he gets his friend Snot, and her friend is just her doll. And God, it's so good.
Back to what you said earlier, though, Rebecca, and I would just pass this information along. As the old man, I'm giving you some wisdom here. Always pick hoes before bros. Always.
Nog was on board, and I thought it was great. Nog's like, oh, wait, you got a date? Heck yeah, because when my roommates and stuff in college, it was like, oh, we're doing something tonight, right? No, I got it. Hey, good for you. Go get it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, not
Sorry,
Nog
Rob.
was
Hold on a
like,
second. Where did you go to
"It's a
college?"
property for me.
Cedar City, Southern Utah
That's
University.
what USUU. Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the one you were thinking of there, Rob.
So they go on a double date, and Nog is saying some real out of pocket stuff and just really being the opposite of a wingman, a buzzkill.
Yeah.
Just harshen the buzz for everybody of like, hey, why is this lady's got a mouth on her? Am I right? And everybody's like, what?
But I mean, is he out of pocket for a
No,
Ferengi?
that's the
No.
thing.
Well,
That's
that's
the
the
thing.
thing. We learn so much about Ferengi culture, and we've kind of heard about it before, right? Like, Quark has mentioned how women are basically property, and they're always nude, and they have to serve the men, and blah blah blah. And it's also just very reminiscent of how young men on the internet today are, right, with role models like Andrew Tate.
Exactly.
Freaking Ferengi incels.
That's what I was thinking. Was that Nog is an Andrew Tate stan? Is
Nog
really-
was one podcast away from just like
Yep.
ooh. So these two the A plot and the B plot, the producers were happy with both of them, not happy with how they were together in this episode. And yeah, gotta agree, because that was crazy
It was definitely a high stakes versus
versus some pretty low stakes.
two guys on a date.
Well, and I'm going to have more to say about this one when we talk about the next one, because
Yeah.
I think there's a really kind of bizarre juxtaposition coming up.
Yes, and you have to wonder, did this kind of set Nog up for what happens in the next episode? Like, was this kind of like the domino that sets the rest of his thoughts in motion about, oh, maybe this isn't who I want to be?
Maybe.
Maybe. Anyway,
I like that explanation, and we will get there when we get there.
yeah, we can just pretend that's what it was.
Headcanon. That's headcanon.
There you go.
They consulted with a pathologist at St. Joseph's Hospital in Burbank to make the medical dialogue as authentic as possible. So this was basically an episode of The Pit. Isn't that
In
fun?
space.
And then lastly, the solution
pit.
to the space pit. The solution to the problem of audience apathy was to make the ambassador a character whom the audience knew and cared about. The producers considered changing the role to O'Brien, who was rumored to want to leave the show to concentrate on film work, but actor Cole Meany assured them that he had no intentions of leaving. As such, they changed it to Vodek Baral, mainly because they weren't happy with how the Baral-Kira relationship was going and because they weren't sure where the Baral character was heading. So really, Bashir must suffer almost.
In a way, yeah.
In a way.
I can't believe that they would consider doing that to O'Brien, honestly. But
I mean,
yeah,
My one trivia note on this one is this is the first episode after the premiere of Voyager.
yes, Voyager is also around this time. How was the premiere of Voyager? Was that like well received?
It was fine.
Yeah,
I remember being
watching
on
it
the.
thinking, oh, cool, Star Trek.
I remember watching it live and being on the phone with Jeff, and we were
Oh.
just kind of giddy about the opening sequences, And the girl I was living with at the time, sitting on the couch behind me, I could just feel her seething stare.
Carrie, take your own note. Hose before bros.
I should have.
Been talking to her,
I
not
thought-
Jeff.
I thought, 4 minutes on the phone with Jeff, I could get away with that. Apparently not.
I will say that it's not the most exciting of the premiere episodes, and that was one where the Ferengi incels were like, "Woke Star Trek, what is a woman doing on the bridge as captain?"
Get her out of that chair.
But think of who we could have
there
had.
was that back then.
Who could we have had?
Genevieve Bujold.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
she was. Genevieve Bujold was cast as she's
French
French
actress.
actress.
Sounds
She
too
was-
French.
Oscar winning, yeah.
She was cast, and she went through a day of shooting and could not do the technobabble. And she said, "I just can't. I'm out."
Well, and it was the technobabble combined with the fact that they shoot like 1 million pages a day, whereas on a feature, it's like 3 pages.
Yeah.
And so she just couldn't
Couldn't keep
handle
up.
that either. Yeah.
Interesting. Let's move to the more interesting episode, Heart of Stone. After chasing a fugitive into a cave, Kira gets stuck and is slowly encapsulated by a growing crystal stone while Odo tries to figure out how to free her. I don't really care about the Odo and Kira stuff, but I guess we're gonna talk about it.
Well, Okay. Well, when we get there, I have a question. I have a question
Okay.
for the experts.
Yes.
Okay, so on board a runabout, Odo and Kira are in pursuit of a member of the terrorist group known as the Maquis. They follow the Maquis vessel into a small moon. Landing, they find the vessel is empty and split up to search for the pilot. Never split up.
Apparently, they've
no
never played
moon.
D&D.
Yeah, never split up. After a short while,
And caves. Caves.
yeah, in caves.
everywhere,
Nothing
caves.
good ever happens in a
Some-
cave.
Sometimes you have to split the party in caves.
No, never, never. If you guys, if we're ever in a cave, God forbid we find ourselves in a cave.
Where's this in a cave? Hell no.
Yeah,
I've
I was
seen
like,
The Descent.
Yeah. Rob's not
Hypothetic-
going into the cave. So.
In the hypothetical, unlikely situation we ever find ourselves in a cave, we are never splitting up. If I have to crouch or crawl somewhere, hard no. I
Have you
read
seen
about
Descent,
I read
Rebecca?
about the putty the putty.
Oh, Nutty
whatever it
Putty
is.
Caves?
Nutty Putty
Nutty
Cave.
Putty
I got in
caves,
there.
yeah.
I got in there before they closed that up. That place was crazy.
Yeah, because that guy
Rebecca?
died. Yeah,
Rebecca, have you seen The Descent?
yeah, I have.
Yeah. No.
When I was in
Ixnay.
third grade, all of the third graders at Hillcrest Elementary School went to Timp Cave.
Tim
Which
Cave's
was like an-
awesome.
And they were never seen again.
Yeah,
Except
pretty
for
much.
Jake.
But there was like
The sole
Like-
survivor.
every school in Utah Valley was taking their third
Yes.
graders there that day.
Yes,
And
exactly.
It's like an hour-long hike, and
That's
we're,
what I was
we're
gonna
like
say.
9
Miserable
years
fun.
old.
Could you imagine
terrible
taking a
hike.
group of 9-year-olds up that hike? That's
Oh,
Yep,
that's an
we did it.
hour long, and it's
That's-
steep.
yeah.
It's paved.
Oh, I
but it's
hated it.
steep.
Crazy.
I hated
But I'll
every
tell
minute
you,
of that.
I've
The
done that
benefits of growing
twice.
up in a flat state.
I've done that
I grew
twice.
up here and I never did that.
You should.
All right.
Tent
No!
Cave is awesome. It is really cool inside.
Tony's trying to kill me. If I'm
It
found
is
dead,
beautiful.
It's
You know,
Tony.
once you get in there,
It's amazing.
It's really
Once you
cool.
get
Really?
into the cave, it's great.
It's the hike up that is.
Yeah, the hike up blows chunks.
Well, there's a part-
I
there's-
love.
There's a part on the tour where he says, "I'm going to turn the lights out now."
Yeah.
And
Turn
I
the
want you-
lights out.
He's like,
And-
you think you know real darkness?
think you know darkness?
I'm going to show you what real darkness is.
And he turns the light. I've never experienced darkness like that.
What?
Do you
It's
want to know
crazy.
where I experienced the most darkness I've ever experienced in my whole entire life? The People Mover in Tomorrowland.
Did it get dark in there?
You must have broke down.
Yes. They had to turn the lights on. We'll talk about
Well,
it tomorrow on the show.
I love so much that this is what we want to talk about instead of Kira trapped in a
Because
room.
I
Oh,
just
okay,
do
sorry,
not
all right.
care. Because I do care about the relationship between Odo and Kira. I do find that so fascinating. And also for this to happen, Barile just died.
Yeah.
Like, but
What is
Odo's
the
kind of
starting
painted in a corner.
gap here?
What was that?
So
It could have been a minute.
It could have
so-
been a minute. Yeah.
my brain, the dark humor that it possesses, speaking of the last episode in Odo, imagined Odo in the back of the room just watching.
Oh, no.
Watching Barile die.
Oh no! What a
maybe
shame.
maybe he shapeshift into Bashir and
Right?
made
Yeah.
it happen.
He's like,
He's like turning up the dial on the Vatican.
that's
Like,
just. I mean,
He is the dial on the
maybe you want to
Vatican.
go talk to your friend Odo.
I like that.
oh,
I like
darn.
that.
Oh, no.
That's some good thoughts there.
Like
yeah.
I said, my brain goes places, and I just follow sometimes.
I love that.
Okay, so later on, Odo finds Kira with her foot caught in an expanding crystal mass that Odo is unable to remove. Kira is being slowly devoured by this crystal, and dangerous seismic tremors increase in the surrounding rock. Kira insists that Odo leaves her, abandons her, flees to safety, and he's like, if there's one thing about Star Trek, they're not going to do that. I'm not going to abandon you, even though it's
Yeah.
a direct order.
Especially someone who, like, if the cave collapses, he can just slither his way through.
Goop on
Oozes right
out.
Yeah,
through,
he's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, he's
He'll
fine.
be fine.
He attempts to free her using an ultrasonic generator and tells her about his past while they wait for the crystal to shatter. The generator fails to work, and Kira is practically engulfed in this crystal. And they have a whole thing, and Kira's like, "Why won't you just leave?" And he's like, "It's because I love you." And I'm like, oh, I like
He
that.
said it.
I like that. I like this tension.
But,
But then Kira says, "I love you too," and that's when I go, "Hey, that
And that's when Odo figured it out too.
something amiss here. Suspicious." Of
He's
her
like,
crystal.
Vedic Barile isn't even cold yet. You know?
Our friendship is too platonic. How could you? And So he's suspicious. He fires a phaser, points a phaser at her, demanding to know who she really is. And it's that changeling lady, one of the founders of the Dominion, who reveals that she stole the Maquis ship in order to try to convince Odo to return to the Dominion. She reveals that Kira's location. She reveals Kira, she's fine. She's over there.
Asleep over there, yeah.
She's taking a little nap, and she goes, "Okay, got me, bye," and leaves. And
Okay.
well, hold on. So Odo tells Kira of the founder and that whole situation, but not that, like, Odo's like,
Not
"Ooh,
the whole-
close
Yeah,
one."
he doesn't tell her.
He doesn't. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Okay. Yes,
Okay.
Tony, you have a
So-
question.
That's the founder the whole time. The founder fires the phaser at the stone, using in quotes, the crystal, and does not even affect. That's her body. Like,
Yeah, she's
so
goo.
we're saying that a
Yeah, but-
changeling can take a direct blast from a phaser and not even
But she
flinch?
made the phaser too. She
Yeah, she
was
is
the
the
phaser
phaser.
too.
And I'm sure she could just, like,
they
make,
used
like,
the
a little
phaser to put
hole.
some scorch marks behind them. The phaser was real,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
and
Well,
Odo held
It was a
it.
sacrificial-
Odo took it and held it.
Sacrificial changeling. She's like, "You're going to come with me on this mission.
You're
just
gonna
sit there
die.
and take-" Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, I'm watching. I'm like, wait a minute. That's like someone shooting themselves in the foot and it not affecting them at all.
Well, I just think she could be the scorch marks too.
But can she maintain a physical object she's created if someone else takes it away from her? Because he grabs the gun from her at the
she's
end.
the friggin' queen of the changelings. She can do
Getting
anything.
a lot
that-
of hand waving.
The writers
going
need
on
her
Yeah,
here,
we're-
Jake.
Tony, you're asking a lot of
hand
questions.
waving.
What are you talking about, Tony?
There's
I think-
also
yeah.
there's also that moment where, like, Odo comes back and there's scorch marks and she's like, "Oh yeah, he was just here and he missed." And I was like, "Yeah, me when I lie when I was actually trying to shoot myself out of this crystal."
Right?
It could be that she's able to manipulate her substance just right so that it goes like a hole.
I would buy that.
You
I
know.
would buy that. Yeah. Okay.
Could be.
You know that movie
Maybe.
Wanted where they curve the bullet,
She
No.
curved the beam.
That movie does
curve
not
the
exist.
phaser.
You
Curve
don't like
the phaser.
Wanted, Rob?
Never seen it actually. I
Oh,
was like,
I
Oh,
thought it was
it's
good.
fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know. Here you're talking about curving bullets, just like the sarcasm in your
you?
voice.
Rob,
Yes.
would you like to see Chris
Olives.
Pratt get
No, sorry.
beat in the face with a keyboard? Something to think about.
Damn it, Rebecca.
It was a fun movie. I liked
It's a fun movie.
You just sold it for him.
That's the movie that made me want to try firing a gun. And I still never have, but it made me
it.
go,
Oh, really?
We can arrange
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we can
There's
arrange
places
that.
around here.
Yeah.
Some of us have guns.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
ah, ah. Okay, meanwhile, the actual part of this episode that I really,
This-
really, really,
this
really
is
That
the one.
everyone really, really, really wants
This
to
is
talk
the
about.
one. Yes.
Okay, meanwhile, back on Deep Space Nine, Nog, remember Nog?
Who's Nog?
Nog, Andrew Tate listener, Nog,
You're lucky I didn't make her chew my food.
and baby bird it into him. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
I'm the alpha.
He basically says that at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
God. God. Okay. Nog attempts to convince Commander Sisko to endorse his application to attend Starfleet Academy. Me on my couch? What's this guy doing? Why does this guy want to go to Starfleet Academy? What's his whole deal?
Cisco on his couch.
Also,
Cisco
Cisco, Cisco on his couch, also doubtful.
And
Suspect
Jake on his couch.
everybody on our
What's in,
couches.
it, what's in it for you? Yeah. what's the-
Wondering why Nog is suddenly interested in Starfleet Academy. Cisco doubtful and suspects Nog is engaging in some underhanded scheme, especially since Nog's request was accompanied by the customary bribe Ferengi culture expects when making such requests. Nog comes in with a bag of latinum.
Well, hang on now. I thought bribe at first too, but the way he says it makes a lot of sense. He's basically purchasing an apprenticeship, is what
Yeah.
he's doing, and that's a thing. People
be
pay,
fair-
Or
people
it's
pay
an
to be
approved
apprentices
tip,
to masters.
according to the Supreme Court.
I didn't view it as a bribe. I
no.
did view it as like a I'm
Well, look at
serious
you,
about
High
this. This
Road.
is my down payment and I'm serious about this.
That's yeah.
It's like earnest money when you're buying a house.
Oh, well
So-
done. Well played.
To test Nog's resolve, he gives him the task of counting the inventory of a cargo bay. And Cisco tells Dax all about this. He's like, yeah, Nog is asking about joining Starfleet, so I'm gonna ask you to oversee him on this project. And even Dax is like, what?
Huh? What's
What?
really going
that
on
that
here?
that Weasley kid over there?
That guy? And he completes the task quickly, and even better than when they had done inventory the week prior. Cisco still has his doubts. I also still have my doubts, because you don't just give a kid a task and then consider it good, because I have ADHD. If I'm hyperfixated on something, I'm also going to be really good at it the first week I'm trying it.
Especially something that's like a pillar of commerce.
Yeah.
Something he's been doing for years
Yeah,
already.
he
Yeah.
works retail.
Yeah.
Like he's
He knows
pretty good at
inventory.
inventory.
Works retail.
There's your title for this episode. He works retail.
He works
Yeah.
Retail.
There you go.
Cisco is like, hey, appreciate your work on this inventory thing. I don't know that I can give you this recommendation. And thus begins one of the best scenes we've seen in Deep Space Nine so far, I think, where he and Nog have this back and forth of like, why? And Cisco's really pushing him. And at first I was like, damn, Cisco, why are you being such a dick to this kid? Maybe just let him do it and let him
But it's
fail.
not new for Cisco. That's the thing. It's not new for him. If you look at Cisco, the first time Jake was like, I met a new kid.
Yep.
And Cisco's like, oh, really? Who is he? He's like, it's the Ferengi kid. And Cisco's like, F that.
Well,
I mean, right out of the gate.
Right
So
out of the
it's
gate.
not out of character for Cisco to be like, like there's something going on. There's an ulterior.
What's the ulterior
motive.
motive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also it's Dad Cisco combined with Commander Cisco.
Yes.
And so you're seeing both sides of who he is in
Yes.
that moment.
Because he also tells Jadzia, I don't want my reputation on the line here
Bingo.
for recommending
Yep.
Nog.
he's putting his name out there saying
Yep.
this guy's
Yep.
worth it. And if he's wrong, well, he looks bad too.
And so they
I had a
yeah.
conversation about 10 years ago with someone that I know I'm not going to identify him beyond that, who was asking me for a recommendation after they'd been fired from their previous job for work avoidance. And I literally told him that same thing. I was like, this reflects on me as much as it reflects on you. And that was like new information to this person. Like they'd never thought of what people would think of me if I recommended him.
You mean my actions affect others?
Yeah.
So Cisco and Nog have a pretty heated back and forth, and eventually Cisco gets it out of him. Nog confesses that he wants to do it so that he does not end up like his father Rom, whose engineering skills are not valued by Ferengi culture. And Nog gives this crazy impressive monologue about how, like, yeah, this is not very Ferengi of me, but my dad's already failed pretty hard at being a Ferengi, so I figure if he's already failing at being a Ferengi, what's the worst I could do? And I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, it was such a good, heartfelt, meaningful monologue that Cisco's like, okay, damn,
Yeah.
I'll write your letter. Like,
You
yeah,
passed the test,
you
cadet.
passed my test.
But it's also a
just
side of
tested.
Nog that nobody has seen, and we never. You see Nog in relation with his dad and with Quark, and you see how those relationships are.
Yeah.
You see Nog with Jake, and those are really all you ever, for the most part, see, except for if they're doing a school episode and he's sitting in a desk for 5 minutes. But to see him passionate about something,
Yeah.
and just like, I can't be my father. I've got to do something with my life.
And then at the end, it rubs off onto his father
Yeah.
because
It
Quark
really
says,
it emboldens
yeah,
him.
Quark said absolutely not. He's not joining Starfleet, and Rom said he's my son. He'll do what he wants.
And like,
That's where he said, "I'm the alpha." Tony, just
That's it right there. He's the alpha.
and like for once, because we've talked about Rom being like a what's the phrase? That's like an idiot savant, right? We have seen he is capable of intelligence. We have seen he is capable of making decisions, and so for him to stand up to his brother in this instant to defend his own son, like, Okay.
Showing some spine.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this for these Ferengis, and I can't believe I was like super emotional over Rom wanting to join Starfleet, over Rom wanting to go to college, which is also so funny because I have to wonder, does Nog see Jake and sees the potential future Jake has before him, and he is squandering it? Jake does not want to go to Starfleet. Jake wants to just
Yeah, he wants to
date
be a
Dabo
writer.
girls and dick around being a writer. Sorry, Jake Black. And-
Golly, this episode's spicy.
I mean it with love.
Hurry and
I-
plug your
I went, I went
cards.
to I went to Masters of the Universe for 2.5 hours in the middle of a Friday. I'm enjoying this dicking around. It's all good.
Life ain't bad for old Jake Black, is it? But I have to wonder if Nog sees Jake kind of squandering his opportunities and sees that he could kind of embark on this path that Jake is not
Could
taking.
be.
I will counter that. It's not Jake at all. They've also shown him around Chief O'Brien, and he's seen what an engineer who is given the opportunity to do their job and be taken seriously can do.
He wants more than this provincial life, as our
Yes,
friend
Belle,
Bill
that is
from Beauty and the Beast once said. And I have known that Nog joins Starfleet. I have known that he like moves up in ranks and stuff, but I have always been like, are we sure? Like, are we so sure about
This
this?
guy?
This guy? But now having watched this episode, I'm like, yeah, okay. Let him do it. I'm so
Okay.
excited to see what he does.
A season back, would you have ever thought that you would give a flying rat's ass about Nog in anything that he did?
No, I don't think so. But I also
So-
feel that way about most teenagers. So
And 4 seasons from now, your jaw's going to be on the floor.
Hey, I didn't do it. I didn't.
Wasn't
do
me.
it.
yeah,
No, I know. But I'm just saying that he's embarking on an incredible arc. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Which I don't think is wait till we get there. It's
Yeah.
just he's on an arc that's really one of the finest in all of Star Trek.
yeah, and I just can't believe
Okay,
it.
I
I'm
need to
excited.
break for just a second. Jake, do you think that what we left behind, what they did with him there, was necessary?
In
The movie, the
possible season
documentary.
8.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold on that.
Okay.
We can talk about it offline.
Okay.
But it does bring up something that I wanted to mention here, Rebecca. When we finish Deep Space Nine, in
Like
a
12
year
years.
or
Yeah.
so, whatever, I think we really need to do an episode about what we left behind, which is the making of Deep Space Nine. It's the incredible documentary about
Yeah,
the show.
it's a very good documentary.
And there's a moment where Aaron Eisenberg talks about acting that scene with Avery Brooks, and just how Avery elevated his performance to the point where Aaron was like, I don't know how I do this with him.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
That's the one of the pieces of trivia I have is that this is Aaron Eisenberg's all-time favorite piece of his own acting, and that this is his favorite DS9 episode. So I love this for him. Can't believe I'm coming around on him. Insane.
I would also say, and this is such a minor thing, but in just Star Trek Discovery, shortly after Aaron Eisenberg passed away, they revealed the USS Nog, and it was listed as Eisenberg class, which I think is
That's
Didn't know
nice.
that.
Ronald D. Moore was also impressed with Nog's storyline. He commented, I think that was an interesting direction. Somehow Captain Nog sounds cool. And if Ronald D. Moore says it, I have no choice but to trust everything Ronald D. Moore does and says. So
And I just want to put in a cheap plug, brag here. One of the short stories that I wrote that was published a couple of years ago is Nog's first about 2 weeks at the Academy.
okay,
So,
now I'm interested in reading it.
yeah.
Not that I wasn't before. I'm
yeah.
interested in everything you write, Jake.
And one of the things, well, let's not go crazy. Um, one of the things that I wrote in it originally is, so Nog is really eager at the academy, and he asks one of like his fellow cadets. They're preparing for this big, like, security away team test where they're going to be playing laser tag in the holodeck, and he asks one of the cadets. Who I named actually after a relatively prominent Utah social media influencer.
Carrie Jackson.
No, no. Social
a
media
woman
influencer. Yeah, not me.
Carrie
that
Jackson.
was like, he was like, "Do you want to come study?" And he says that to everybody. And she's like, "Well, yeah, sure." But the friends were like, "I wouldn't do that. He's just going to make you get naked. That's what you do, right, Ferengi?" And Paramount wouldn't let me say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because they have really tried to rehabilitate the Ferengi in that sense, and
Oh.
shift away from that type of thinking. So I had to change it to he's just going to charge you admission or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
where can we find this story?
It's in an anthology called "A Year to the Day That I Saw Myself Die."
Classic Trek title.
Yeah, and it's got a story written by Walter Koenig, as well as a bunch of really like accomplished like Star Trek novelists and stuff. So
Hot damn.
So look
Yeah.
for it.
yeah,
Look for it. Also, from the A plot of this episode, Nana Visitor suffers from claustrophobia. We've definitely talked about it before. Commented that she found this episode hard to film because I thought the prop they used to encase me was an awful choice. And again, Nana Visitor must suffer.
Yep.
I don't know what she did to piss everybody off. Not that I'm blaming her. I'm not blaming her. I think people just hate women. Okay, Destiny. Unless any final thoughts about Nog joining Starfleet?
No, I thought it was a great storyline. This alleged B plot, because the A plot was supposed to be the Kira and Odo thing. Mm-hmm. It just quickly became no. It's all about
Yeah, this is the Nog hour, everybody.
it's all about Nog.
and it's such a left turn from the previous episode for him. Like
Yeah.
so stark.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, like, is this like that episode, that interaction with the double date and with Jake in the previous episode? Did that maybe like get Nog thinking about his life, at his self as a Ferengi and his place in Ferengi culture? And like, did maybe that like snowball into him deciding, oh, maybe,
I could see it as him reflecting and being like, I tried too hard to be a Ferengi,
yeah.
Oh,
and my
Happy
dad.
Pride Month, everybody.
I did have one more thought on this one, and then I'll
Yeah.
shut up about it. But did you have a best friend when you were a kid? What?
Yeah.
How did you interact with their parents? Like for me, it was like a second set of parents. Like they invested in me, and my parents invested in my best friend a lot. And I think there is an element of that for Cisco here, in that
Yeah.
he loves Jake so much, and Jake cares about this kid, obviously. And I think there might be some of that he even gave him a look at all. He's my kid's best friend. I know his family.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. And as a parent, and some of the kids that my kids hang out with, it's like, oh yeah, I get that, makes total sense.
Yeah.
I need to go
Interesting.
back to the time jump here.
Yeah.
A week. I'm sorry, 8 days.
8
So it's
days.
been 8 days
Yeah, so
since
Burrell's
died.
his course not even cold yet. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't even
There you go.
been jettisoned into space yet.
There you go.
I hope at the funeral Bashir said, of all the souls I've encountered, his was the most human.
Majoran. Well, let's talk about Destiny a bit. In case you forgot, Cisco is an emissary, and so
What?
we have to talk. We have to remind everybody. Don't forget, Sisko is a Bajoran emissary. Sisko faces a conflict between his Starfleet duties and his role as the Bajoran emissary when an ancient Bajoran prophecy predicts a joint Federation Cardassian project will lead to the destruction of the wormhole. A team of Cardassian scientists arrive at Deep Space Nine to help build a relay that will allow communication through the Bajoran wormhole. A Bajoran priest, Vedek Yarka, tells the station's human commander that that an ancient prophecy predicts that this project will destroy the wormhole. This guy with his prophecies. He's always showing up with a prophecy to ruin everyone's day. 3 Vipers, assumed to be the Cardassians, will cause the temple gates, presumed to be the wormhole, to be cast open and burned. Yarka is treated with skepticism, as we should treat all soothsayers.
Yes.
And especially when it is learned that only 2 Cardassian scientists, Ulani and Gilora, are expected, not 3. When they arrive, however, they explain that a 3rd scientist will arrive later. And so this makes Kira,
Well,
I love when Kira's the religion part of her brain kicks on, because she's
Yeah.
like, oh, prophecy.
Didn't they also say that guy that brought the prophecy to had been like disfellowshipped by the other Bajoran religious leaders as well? Basically,
He's a wacko.
Yeah, they're like, you're too
He's
weird
like Miss
even
Cleo.
for us. Get out of here.
He's like Miss Cleo. It's like, oh, you're just gonna tell me what my future's gonna be. All right.
Yeah, he's got a hit rate of like 1 out of 100.
Get out of here, Nostradamus.
And what they also didn't tell you is that he was actually a Capricorn, and the 3 Vipers were actually Viper fighters
Oh, I like
that were going to
that.
come and destroy it.
Yeah.
But something I do love about Kira is when she does show her religious Bajoran side, because she most of the time keeps it pretty subdued. But
Keep that stuff in church, man.
Yeah,
And she does.
but then prophecy situations arise, and she goes, Bajoran alert. Yarka confronts Kira about her faith and her duty to help Sisko, whom Bajorans believe to be the emissary of the prophets. When the 3rd scientist, Dejar, arrives, she is greeted coldly by Ulani and Gilora. While Chief O'Brien and Gilora work on the station,
Yeah, they do.
Gilora misinterprets O'Brien's hostility as coming on to her.
That's Cardassian flirtation, I guess.
Cardassian
Negging,
flirtation is
yeah.
just like grade school flirtation.
It's
The
just
girl you
negging.
like, you pull on her pigtails.
I love her because the actress that plays her was Cat Grant on Lois and Clark.
Tracy Scoggins.
Yeah. And so it's just such a perfect like mirror image of that.
Were you saying she was typecast?
Well, she doesn't usually, as Cat Grant, misinterpret the approaches. She usually initiates them.
Ooh, oh my. Sisko takes Ulani and Dejar through the wormhole in the Defiant to set up the relay. They discover a comet, which Kira believes to be the Sword of Stars mentioned in the prophecy. She discusses the prophecy with Sisko, but he chooses his role as a Starfleet officer over that of an emissary. The relay is deployed and the test begins. A particular carrier wave causes the comet to change course and head towards the wormhole. If the comet enters the wormhole, a substance in its core, silithium, not dilithium, it's just silithium, we just replaced the D with an S, will cause the wormhole to be destroyed. O'Brien proposes modifying the Defiant's phasers to be able to vaporize the comet. Sisko, despite starting to maybe believe in the prophecy, goes ahead with the plan. Instead of vaporizing it, the phasers fire a standard burst that breaks the comet into 3 fragments. O'Brien's modifications never came online. Gilora accuses Dejar of sabotaging the phasers, which turns out to be true. Dejar was sent by the Cardassians' intelligence agency, the Obsidian Order. These assholes who oppose the collaboration between Cardassia and Bajor to sabotage the mission. To prevent the silithium from destroying the wormhole, Sisko and Kira guide the fragments through with a shuttlecraft. And I love this scene where Sisko's like, all right, we got to do it. And Kira's like, can I help the emissary? Oh my God. Can I help the emissary? Sisko's like, yeah, get in here, girl.
Can I be a part of prophecy?
Can I be a part of prophecy? Yeah. Some of the silithium nevertheless leaks out and reacts with the wormhole. The reaction enables the communications link to be established. Kira and Cisco realize the prophecy has come true. The 3 Vipers were comet fragments, and the silithium ignited the wormhole, casting open the temple gates to allow communication through them.
Silithium, Cylon. Silithium.
I think you're onto something, Rob.
I'm just saying. I'm just
There you
saying.
go. I think
This
you got
is
it.
like Battlestar Galactica. We got to find a way to shoehorn this into this episode somehow.
That was Ronald D. Moore's Genesis right there.
Yeah.
That was his origin story.
He's like, I think we're onto something here. Love. I love that
Exciting and new.
I love when Kira is like, oh yeah, religion is my shit.
Now,
But-
I mean, well, I was going to say, from a writer's perspective, you have to find a way to communicate with the other side of the wormhole. You just have to if you're going to have more adventures. And that could have been, sloppy and, poorly done. I think that they really did a good job establishing this thing for future use, and it's not just a throwaway episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is a
Agreed.
load-bearing episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also don't get to see Kira with the starry eyes working with the emissary because we normally just see her in work mode arguing with him because he's just a guy in a uniform who's telling me what to do, as opposed to, oh, you're a religious icon. And every once in a while, like Rebecca says, it hits her like, oh shit, that is the guy.
I keep
Well, and
forgetting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love in this episode too, where it's like kind of like the Padme Anakin meme of where Cisco's like, "Do you think I'm the emissary?" Well, you don't think I'm the
don't.
emissary.
I don't not
I-
think
I-
you're the emissary.
Kinda do.
I don't kind of revere you as a prophet for my culture.
I'm not revering you.
The trivia that I have for this episode, the prospect of introducing 2 sympathetic Cardassians was done as a way of showing that there are different kinds of people in Cardassian society. Important, because I was viewing Cardassians as all gold ducats, just
All Nazi bastards. Yeah.
all Nazi bastards. So, I was hanging out a lot with people from London this week and, telling them, like, I know you see a lot of crazy news about stuff that we're doing over here, but just this group of people that you're currently hanging out with, we're not like that.
We're not all like that. I
We're not all
promise.
like that.
We're Cardassian scientists.
we
Just like,
we are
just like the
Cardassian
German
scientists.
scientists that came over and built our rocket program. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
then I did
that.
have to explain Peter Thiel running away to Argentina. Isn't that fun? Isn't
Yeah.
that just a little reminiscent of history?
yeah, a little too much.
Otherwise, while in full Cardassian makeup, actress Tracy Scoggins, who played Galora, took the opportunity to walk around the Paramount lot, scaring school children on buses before security called the DS9 set, saying, "Could y'all do something about keeping your aliens contained over there?"
She sounds like fun.
She thought it was like, I want to hang out with Tracy. She sounds
Well,
awesome.
I mean, if you look at her IMDb, she's done a lot of fun projects. I mean, and there was a time when she was a very popular poster at at the Keyhole and places like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Those are the episodes. Any
Good-
what do we
good
think?
stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, I quite
Yeah.
liked it.
I do have some emails if we want some
Let's
emails.
go.
Yes.
One, take a guess who it's from.
Mr. O'Keefe?
It's from our friend Charles O'Keefe.
Nailed it.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you and the gang for an excellent episode. Oh, this is in response to Double Rikers. Thank you and the gang for an excellent episode that certainly had some surprises. Back in October of last year, I asked, would you put Thomas Riker to death? And you said you would. Yet in this episode, you are singing his praises.
Oh, good memory, Charles.
Oh, how the turntables have turned.
Turntables have turned. I know you love the Maquis, and this makes him a bad boy. But this declaration makes me wonder, do you really hate clones? If Thomas Riker could change your mind, perhaps there are other Star Trek clones you could warm up to as well. All right, calm down. Also, I really appreciated the thank you to the fans like me. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're not a quitter. You hyperfixate on an activity, typical ADHD trait, and then lose interest. I used to do it all the time, as it's also an OCD trait called anhedonia, and I find it still happens to me sometimes. Star Trek makes you happy, and seeing that on screen makes me happy as well. We all need to focus on what brings us the most happiness in this stressful world. Hope you enjoy the rest of season 3. Live long and prosper. Thank you, Charles. Always love to hear from you. I know we give you a hard time, but always fun to hear from you. And then we also have another email from Vincent, who I think maybe, have we heard from Vincent before? I think we've heard from Vincent before.
I don't know.
Hello, TV show and space crew. I have no idea when this email will reach y'all. I hope it finds you well when it does. I have this crazy idea about the recent cancellation of all things Star Trek, and I hope you will bear with me because it's kind of stupid. I don't want to come across as some conspiracy-brained asshat, but here goes.
Okay.
And Jake, I'm curious on your take on this.
I'll say what I can.
Taylor Sheridan killed Star Trek.
Whoa.
Taylor Sheridan has, at this point, about a dozen shows on Paramount Plus right now, and most of them have stars that can demand a pretty high price. Kevin Costner, Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren, Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell, Michelle Pfeiffer, Annette Bening, Ed Harris, Billy Bob Thornton, Demi Moore. You get the idea. And the settings of these shows all exist in the real world. The production company doesn't have to spend a lot of money to create them. Meanwhile, most of Trek's budget goes to VFX shots, futuristic sets that cost millions of dollars to build, and the remaining bit goes to cast members that are relatively unknown compared to, well, the people I just mentioned. I know the correlation doesn't equal causation, but still, it seems really easy to draw a line between the Taylor Sheridan empire to the cancellation of Trek. Let me know what y'all think.
Well, what he didn't mention as well, too, is those Taylor Sheridan shows get a lot more views than Star Trek does.
They bring in a ton of viewerships. Jake is biting his NDA so hard.
Okay, here's a little. Let me throw this out. I have no idea either, Vincent. I have no clue at all. But I do remember back in the day when AMC was doing Walking Dead, and then they stumbled across this property called Mad Men that they wanted to do. Yep. And they pulled a lot of the Walking Dead budget and threw it at Mad Men.
That's why season 2 stayed on a farm.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, and that's why they had to change the way that they did the show. So, I mean, I don't know if that's the case here. I'm using that as a example / precedent, maybe.
I
think it's right about the streams, though. But
I was long gone by the time this decision was made, so I obviously can't draw that direct a line. But I will say that everyone knows that Taylor Sheridan has the monopoly there. I would also consider who watches his shows combined with the direction of Paramount. And probably best leave it at that.
Like, there's a reason Taylor Sheridan shows and sports are very popular on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
I'm not saying all sports viewers are of the right-leaning capacities, but
they're dudes.
They're dudes.
Follow the money. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Follow the money.
And I think, there's no question that the new era of Star Trek didn't bring in enough new fans.
That's true.
When I was there, Rebecca, I used you as an example all the time of how it worked. How you came on board, again, no pun intended, with Strange New Worlds. And now look at you.
Now look at us. We have like the 3,000th most popular podcast on iTunes
on the Star Trek list.
On the Star Trek, that's a better. We're number like 3,127 on like top Star Trek podcasts.
Yeah, niche that down a little bit before you throw that number out there. Don't get too broad.
But I mean, it really did work for you because it brought you into Lower Decks, and then it made you want to watch everything else.
Yeah.
And if there were a million more like you,
then
we wouldn't be in the place where we are.
Yeah.
I don't.
But how did
I
you
wouldn't
get there?
I wouldn't wish a million more people like me.
Aw.
But no, Jake has a point. How did you get there? It was with new Star Trek.
Was with New Star Trek.
And how did you get to new Star Trek? That's more what I'm saying is it's your friends
peer
told you to watch
peer
it, right?
pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were fans of the old stuff.
Yeah.
And
So maybe
so
if everybody
even-
just had older friends who are way into older Star Trek.
But that's the problem. That's the catch-22 is the older friends who were way into the old Star Trek didn't like any of this stuff except like Picard season 3.
Yeah.
Because it gave them more of the same.
I love Picard season 3 though.
No, and there's nothing wrong with having Picard season
Yeah,
three.
no,
No, it was good.
Okay,
It was
good.
good.
But it's just that, I mean,
Do people
honestly,
really
there's
hate the
fan
first two
service.
seasons?
I don't know why they would. The first season was really good too.
First season was good. Second
I
season,
like the
season-
second. I like the
second
second
season was
season
all right.
for what they were setting up, but I think they
Okay.
pulled the Last Jedi
Yeah.
because we got an interesting look at a change for the Borg going forward, and then never discussed it again.
and a change for Picard.
And true,
Too.
yeah, and a change for Q even.
I think people didn't like the first 2 seasons because it wasn't the old stuff.
Yeah,
It was prestige television in the 21st century, not syndicated television in the 90s.
And that's what sucks about the current state of TV, right? Because a show has to be a hit immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lame.
No, if you've got a show that you want to support, you've got to watch it within the first 3 days to make it count, you know?
Yeah.
And that sucks as a rating system. I think it's terrible, especially the way that the consumer now gets their shows. I mean, there's a lot of shows that I let stack up so that I can binge them. And I think that should count just as much as 3 days, you know?
Yeah, and it all I mean, it sucks because there's so many different threads that are true, right? Because like Spider Noir, they dropped the full season at once, and I wish they wouldn't have. I wish Spider Noir would have been a weekly drop because nobody's talking about it. Whereas if it was a weekly drop, I think more people would be talking about it. Because like that's
And they discovered that. They discovered that, and that's when they started doing it weekly. Because there, for the longest time, streaming shows would drop all their episodes at once, and you had a season. And they went, "Oh, we're not getting as much traction on social media." Again, this social media bullshit with the suits. I just can't stand it. But we need to get traction on social media. Let's do it an episode a week. Like the old days. You know.
And another factor I think too is, and this cuts across like all fandoms, and that's the gatekeepers.
Yes. The
This
worst.
is mine, and no one else can have it.
I
Well,
hate
guess
that.
what, friend? Because of that, no one's going to have anything.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is a huge reason why I got into Star Trek in the first place, was because Jack Quaid himself said on a podcast this was the nicest fandom he's ever encountered. And that has been 90% of my experience. I have been in the fandom. It took me being in the Star Trek fandom for 2 years before I really encountered assholes.
Yeah.
And even then, it's people who are like, I like what I like. I like the old stuff. It's people who seem very set in their ways.
and I have a coworker who falls into that kind of camp. There were elements of some of the newer things that he likes, like Strange New Worlds. I think hits a very odd balance for some people because you're getting TOS era Trek polished up nicely.
Yeah.
So I think that there's something that appeals to them there, and you still get Spock, and you get members of the crew that you know
Yeah.
on the Enterprise. So I think that for some people, they're like, oh, it's almost what I want without Kirk as much. But Academy, and this person is very on the fence about, I'm sorry, not on the fence, is very much great with most of the stuff in Academy, and the one thing that drives them nuts is Jaden, for one.
Which I just, yeah.
And it's like that. It's just, and it breaks. They've broken Klingons for him with him. I'm just kind of like,
Well, did he like Deep Space Nine?
yes,
Nog and Jaden are the same thing.
not
Breaking apart
disagree.
from their cultures to right, and so
Yeah, but
I would
we
kind of
don't.
throw that in his face a little bit, be like, well, you
I think
never know,
we're more
you like
endeared to
dog?
Klingons than we are to Ferengi, though.
Especially
Yeah, I
dudes.
guess. That's
Especially
true.
dudes.
It's
Yeah.
okay in that aspect. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
different.
but I mean, it's again, there are people who are just going to like Star Trek has changed. It's like, no, it really hasn't. What has happened is you've changed. What you have noticed standing out more, that has always been there, has always been part of the show,
Yeah.
is now more in the background, and they're focusing on other things. You're like, oh, wait, that's new. No, it's not new.
Yeah. I say that about my radio show to people who say I don't listen anymore all the time. We didn't change. You did.
Yeah, I think this is something I've only like recently come to appreciate is I think you should be constantly revisiting your favorite pieces of media as you age because it doesn't change, but your perspective does.
Oh, totally.
And
I used to love the Love Boat. Now I can't. No.
No more love for the love boat.
I think if you want to find some good Trek fans, and I've not been, but every report that I've received said that Star Trek convention in Vegas every August. You've been, Jake.
Yeah.
I hear nothing but great things about the fans there. They're
It's-
all so accepting.
It's the family reunion. It really is. It's where you see old friends, you meet new friends, because we all share this one love. Are there people there that hate Discovery? Yeah. Will they tell you that when you're in line to meet Siddig Alfadil or Alexander Siddig? Yep. Doesn't matter.
okay.
Because we're like, yeah. But you like this? I like that too.
Would you say there's also good fans at Trek Long Island, Jake?
Oh yeah, they're the best. They're the best. Loved seeing them last week.
Oh, that was last. As of
by
this episode, that was last week.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
maybe next year at Trek Long Island. Well,
Before we go,
yeah.
I'd like to say goodbye to a Star Trek series because Paramount has dropped the last 3 episodes of Star Trek Scouts, ending that series.
Oh, the one for kids.
Dang.
It was cute.
That's too bad.
Did we learn? Did you guys learn anything from Star Trek Scouts?
You can fight a meatball asteroid with a giant fork.
Ah,
you go.
how fun!
There you go.
What more do you need to know?
If you would like to get in touch with us, tvshowinspace@gmail.com. I don't know what happened recently, but I am suddenly getting emails for Geek Show Podcast, Geek Show Arcade, Geek Show Help Desk. My inbox runneth over
Did
with
you get more for the other ones?
Maybe.
I've been getting so many emails.
Well, I mean, we have an email for Geek Show, right?
Yeah, I don't know that we promote it ever.
We don't, and that's the problem. That's
So
our fault.
I, whatever reason, have been getting just an onslaught of emails of like, would you like to interview this person for all of the shows under the Geek Show umbrella? I don't want to hear from them. I would like to hear from the listeners.
We need to be better about mentioning our email then.
Rebecca, I'll
yeah.
talk to you I'll talk to you over the email thing, and we'll talk about some of the stuff going on there.
Oh, okay.
I got a couple of questions.
I just want to pitch one product too.
Sure.
For Pride Month, IDW every year releases Star Trek Celebrations.
Yes.
Rob's got it.
Yep.
Okay,
And
here.
it's great, including a story by Jaden himself about
Yes.
Jaden.
Which was a lovely story.
Yeah.
He's also, and Kareem Diane is promoting it on his Instagram and his social media. He's also doing, he bought like a ton of copies of it and is signing them, and he's doing a contest so you could actually win a signed copy of that issue.
Very cool.
So
Yeah,
cool.
so check it out. Check it out. It's a really good Pride Month read. There's some Lower Decks, Mariner and Jennifer stuff that's really fun.
Wow.
Just
And
some
Pride
Kelvin
Month-
versus Sulu
Yep.
stuff. Yeah.
Bleh.
Yes.
Bleh.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Pride, yeah, and Pride Month just Star Trek is such a good embodiment of
Everything.
everything.
Infinite
It-
diversity and infinite combinations.
Yeah, so happy Fidelity Month, everybody. from Governor Cox in the state of Utah, but not from us, where
No.
we think if you're queer, embrace it. We love you, and we will see you on the next one. Oh, okay, bye bye. Love you, bye.